Virtual coffee.
Indeed. Alpesh is here, Alpesh Patel, that is, from Prifinium Partners. Good morning, Alpesh.
Good morning.
Let's start with events in Paris over the last day or so. And Libya, I would imagine that Russia and China are playing a catch-up game, wouldn't you, given that now everyone's jostling for position in terms of contracts in Libya?
Contracts in Libya. The Swedish Prime Minister said it best. He said they have oil. He was quite open and honest with this. Business Week had a headline. Now, about that oil, there's a theme here. What I like about this story is you've got 60 of the world's governments coming down on the poor people of Libya who've not suffered enough by having a revolution, but they've now got 60 of the world's governments saying, how can we help? Now, you've got to remember, amongst this group is the Italian government, is probably the Greek government, the Spanish government. You'd think they want to focus a bit about the domestic situation in their own countries, but no. It's bad enough when you've got one government saying, how can we help our citizens? But no, you've got 60 focusing on the civil war ravaged people of Libya. I mean, they're probably all... I suspect the Libyans are queuing up at the airport saying, "Oh, we're getting out of here. We've got 60 governments helping us."
But it is a problem, isn't it, for the National Transitional Council, because they've really got to grow up and learn about the art of negotiation and keeping 60 governments at arm's length and getting what they want rather than what the governments want.
The huge problem they face is how do you govern? Because we know that established countries and governments have problems governing, let alone new ones who are learning it ad hoc. And now you've got these newfound friends from around the world who are saying, let us help you govern. It's going to cost you a bit of money. And that's the other thing about this. It looks great because there's going to be billions thrown at them. But you better believe they're going to be paying for their own reconstruction.
But look on the bright side, they've got no debt. I was interested to learn that Libya has no debt at all. It's got oil reserves, of course, and it's got a highly educated population. So.
It's got a highly educated population, as is often the case with many of these North African countries who do have some degree of wealth, no debt, but that's partly because they haven't been spending on anything. Certainly not infrastructure, which is one of the reasons for the revolution to begin with.
Let's talk about this story from the Financial Times and the manufacturing figures, the PMI index that came up. The people that are believed to be at the sharp end of business, the people that buy and supply goods for various companies, all of them incredibly pessimistic.
Purchasing managers. Yes, great story this. August, manufacturing slowed. It was August, for God's sake. People were on holiday. They were taking a break. The problem with reading economic data, the minutiae that comes out every single week, as opposed to the broader trends, it's a bit like reading fashion magazines when you're on a diet. It'll make you unnecessarily pessimistic. And that's the case with manufacturing data. Let's put it into a broader context. The US economy, even if they have no growth, is $14 trillion big. They produce goods and services, $14 trillion. The EU produces $14 trillion despite the Greek problem. But if you read the newspapers, you'd think we're all going to go live in cardboard boxes tomorrow. China is a third of the size of the United States, and it produces, through its growth alone, a quarter of a United Kingdom every single year. We are not in desperate dire straits, or to put it in fashion terms, we're not as fat as you might be led to believe by reading the newspapers.
It's so nice having a cheerful view on it, isn't it?
Today.
I'm back from holiday. August, off.
Now, deal with this one then. The banks, yet again, seem to be working miracles. They don't seem to have been taking a hit that everyone was expecting at all, do they? Particularly when it comes to the Greek bailout.
Yes, the story here is that the banks who lent the Greeks money have been asked to swap those repayments for getting them less money in the short term, but more in total over a longer period of time. Obviously works out. It's like going to your bank manager saying, look, I can't afford to pay you what I'm paying you now, but I'll pay you more over a longer period of time. It's better for the banks. It's effectively a default, which is what I've been saying that the Greeks should do for a long period of time. It's what they call a technical default. And of course the banks are happy because it's going to be governed by international law. The security that they're getting is going to be better. And surprise, surprise, the banks haven't got stuffed. They're the ones still doing the stuffing.
Do you think there'll be much, they're going out to pitch it this week?
Yeah.
Do you think, what will the reaction be, do you think?
Well, you know when the bankers say, yes, we're willing to take this deal on, that it's going to be bad for the Greeks. I mean, basically, any deal where a banker says to you, yeah, let's do it, you're getting stuffed.
And they're the ones that are going to win.
Yeah. Well, yeah, those bonuses don't come cheap, you know.
Oh, tell you about
They
it.
deserve them.
Let's talk about coffee, shall we?
Yes, and what's your early morning pick-me-up?
Oh.
Can you say?
I can't say because of the injunction. But who can afford coffee anyway? I mean, look, it'd be cheaper if they criminalised it. My dealer, I call him Starbucks, he said the street value of Colombia's finest coffee, we're talking about, is now £2 a shot. Now, I can't afford it. Obviously, I'm going to need a bigger bonus. And that's why bankers' bonuses are so large, because of the street value
so much coffee.
of coffee, yeah.
But it isn't all in the mind, isn't it? I mean, this is
Yes,
what
the story
studies
is
are saying.
that you can have a placebo effect with
But what
with
happens
coffee.
if you give up coffee? When I've given up coffee before, you get dreadful headaches. So it can't all be
Indeed.
in the
That's
mind.
because no, it's completely all in your mind. Your headaches are in your mind, and the fact that you had given up coffee. You see, if you just kidded yourself and were having water-coloured brown, you would
I'd
not
be
have.
fine.
That's what the study says. It's placebo. You don't need caffeine.
Upbeat, Alpesh Patel, thank you very much indeed for taking us through our
My
cases
pleasure.
this morning.
I need what he's on, let alone caffeine.
Thank you very much for being with us.
From Martina and myself, bye-bye.